you have given a theoretical discussion on the position of women in Buddhism. But if we analyze in detail, nuns are supposed to respect the monks, even though they may be more senior than the monks. So how do you argue for this?
Now, these are because of the social conditions that Buddha imposed. At the time, we had to look at the history of the development of nuns order. At the time when the nuns order was introduced to Buddhism, women's position was lower than animals' position. You all know the historical background of how nuns order was introduced at that time, and therefore in order to please them, Buddha had added additional conditions only to please them. Otherwise, these are not invariable, unchangeable, permanent, eternal laws. They can be changed from time to time. If the society at that time were as enlightened as today, as liberal as today, as educated as today, people have been going forward, thinking, discussing of equanimity and equality. If that was happening at that time, Buddha would have not introduced these new additional rules. And therefore we have to accept the fact that these have been introduced by the Buddha to meet the demand at that time in that society. It may not be applicable today. Therefore I think, and Buddha himself has mentioned, that you can change the rules and regulations, which are the rules and regulations to govern an organization. Like when you have an organization, you make constitution. Constitutional laws, rules can be changed from time to time. But the truth of Dhamma can never be changed. I am talking about the truth of Dhamma. If a woman, whether she is senior nun or junior nun, ordained or non-ordained, if a woman realizes truth, to that extent, to that degree, she is eligible to attaining enlightenment. That is what I am talking about.
I think Dr. Gururatana has given an excellent interpretation regarding this issue. We never think the nature of the society in India that existed 2,500 years ago. And all the conditions that the Buddha has given for women is not to show any discrimination, but for their protection. Because it is very difficult for them to lead a very tough and very hard life in those days. There were no proper monasteries, no shelters. Many of those monks were staying in open areas, under the trees and jungle and here and there. And women cannot do that. That is why the Buddha was reluctant to allow them to enter into the holy order, because it is difficult for them to protect themselves. On the other hand, Buddha was the only religious teacher in this world who has opened the gate for women to enter into the holy order. Even today, this 20th century, in the modern world, in the West also, still they are reluctant to give this freedom to women. Buddha has done this 2,500 years ago. Full authority for nuns or the women to lead the religious life. Again, the belief was that at that time that women's mentality was very low. Their duties are confined only to the kitchen, to look after their children, to attend to their husband. In fact, there's a belief that if woman also wants to go to heaven, she had no separate passport, must use the husband's passport. See, that means they were not independent. Some people believe that women had no soul like animals. The Buddha understood. He said, don't think the man is the only wise man, intelligent man, always. Women also intelligent and wise, the Buddha mentioned. Again, the king who was worrying about giving birth a baby girl, his queen, the Buddha said, why do you worry? Do you know sometimes girls are better than boys? Who used this word, the Buddha? So no any other religious teachers who ever uttered such words. Therefore, there is no reason whatsoever for people to say that Buddhism supports such weak ideas, discrimination, given full freedom, and we had to change, we had to amend our way of life. That is called Vinaya. Vinaya is changeable. Vinaya is not Dharma. Dharma is not changeable, what the Buddha taught. But Vinaya, way of life, discipline, custom, tradition, manners, all are changeable. Many people can understand that. I think this is enough.
Yeah.